Hi. Let's talk about the price when we silence ourselves. It relates very much to that one video I did about the pain of becoming visible. Because if we start sharing, for example, our opinion, or we start sharing our business, what it is all about, or we sharing our art, we kind of show up. And it's vulnerable, and it's a part when we share our art, whether it's a painting, a writing, or an acting, or a piece of film. It's very vulnerable because usually when we create, it's a part of us. It's a part of us that is expressed in that way. And similar it is when we have our own little business and we are sharing our insights about that, or we are going out there and saying, listen, this is what I have to offer. Would that be interesting to you? That's vulnerable too. And obviously, especially when it comes to business, you can do it in a very inauthentic way. But if you do happen to be a person like me who wants to be authentic, then maybe whether that's in the expression of the art or whether it's in sharing your business, then this is obviously even more scary because you're putting yourself on the line. At the same time, I really believe, so yes, there's a lot of, shall I call it risk in a way, involved, especially if you happen to be more of a shy person to whom that maybe doesn't come as easily, or someone who's more introverted. But at the same time, I think we need to also look at what it costs us to be silencing ourselves. And obviously, there are different levels to this, but for me, it really does relate to the visibility piece. I think most of us silence ourselves as a protection, as a safety measure, because maybe we have been growing up in a way that we have been ridiculed if we showed up as our own quirky self, or we have been bullied. There are many reasons, or, shy people are seen as maybe not confident enough, which I personally think is bullshit, to be honest. But I think there are reasons why we silence ourselves. It's like we put on this invisibility cloak and it's safe. So I think it is very important to realize that there's a reason why we might be still doing this, and there's a reason why we have been doing this, and that's a very, very valid reason. So we need to give a lot of love to these parts of ourselves that feel so scared to speak up, and in a way that is, authentic to us. I also want to say that there are actually spaces where it is not a good idea to, in toxic environments, we sometimes really need to silence ourselves, which makes it much harder because it's kind of that discernment where you say, yes, it makes sense to keep certain things to myself. They are so precious in certain environments. But also, if that's the case, I need to have, for my own sanity and for my own health, to be honest, I need to find the spaces where I can express myself and where I can show up with my gifts and what I've got to share with the world. And I can get the help and support of someone. But I think, so the danger of not finding any space where we can express ourselves, where we can be truthful to ourselves, is that we start in a way becoming not just invisible to the outside, but also invisible to ourselves. We kind of lose ourselves. And I also have the feeling it's kind of like maybe losing our own voice and what we are all about, and feeling like, for example, we don't have anything interesting to say, even though we have. So I think it can end up in a very dark place. And from my own experience, I do think that the times where I stopped expressing myself at all has been just not good for my mental health. And also, I don't know why, but I have that feeling that it helps my autoimmune condition to have the safe spaces, or what feels safe to me, to express myself, and also to help other people to express themselves and to find the courage to take that invisibility cloak off and to become more visible to others with their talents. So I think it's a really important one to work on. And on that note, I just want to say that I'm just about to develop a group program for people who struggle with becoming visible and who don't share enough about themselves and their business, or who don't share their art, but they would like to, but the fear is keeping them back. I'm developing an online group program, and I'm gonna share about this much more very soon. So I would love to hear from you, whether you are silencing yourself and what the reasons are, and do you feel that you're paying a price for it. That's been me, Anja Kersten, life coach and artist. Take good care. Bye-bye.